Do you feel like you're always chasing love or running from it? What if your attachment style isn't a personality flaw, but a survival strategy? Hey there, and welcome to Beyond Survival, a Pathway to Peace. I'm your host, Naomi Stanchfield. If you're living with the effects of trauma or PTSD, you're in the right place. I know what it's like to live in survival mode, always waiting for the next shoe to drop. For years, I searched for peace, for a way to feel safe in my own body again. That search became the foundation of the work I do today as a trauma-informed coach. This podcast is here to support you as you begin your own journey towards a calmer, more peaceful life. Each week, we'll explore real tools, heartfelt conversations, and simple practices to help you heal, one step at a time. You don't have to walk this path alone. Let's take it together. Welcome back to our 6-week series into relationships, love, and connection. Today we are talking about attachment styles. They are our internal working model for how we relate to others and view ourselves. Think of them as your subconscious, automatic rule book for love and connection, which was shaped by your earliest experiences with your caregivers, your parents, or your guardians. These are typically formed during the first few years of a person's life. If anything we talk about today feels activating, you can pause, come back later, or just listen to the parts that feel okay for your body right now. Your nervous system gets to set the pace as we go. Now, there are 4 main types of attachment. They are secure attachment, which is the balanced type of attachment, anxious, preoccupied attachment, the clingy type, dismissive, avoidant attachment, which is the independent type, and there is fearful, avoidant, or disorganized attachment. That's the confused type. These styles affect your view of intimacy, togetherness, the way you deal with conflict, your attitude towards sex, your ability to communicate your wishes and needs, and your expectations of your partner and your relationship. While they form in childhood, they deeply influence how we trust, communicate, and react in adult romantic relationships, friendships, and even work dynamics. Trauma can deepen these attachment styles along the way as well, making them more pronounced and harder to change. Research shows that approximately 50% of the population has a secure attachment style, 20% has an anxious attachment style, 25% have an avoidant attachment style, and about 3 to 5% have a combination of anxious and avoidant or a disorganized attachment style, meaning roughly half of people are securely attached and the rest fall into one of the insecure patterns, anxious, avoidant, or disorganized. Insecure attachment styles, that is all of them but the secure attachment style, are not you being broken. It is a rational reaction and adaptation to a chaotic, neglectful, or even abusive environment. The good news is that through CBT and somatic practices, we can work to change our attachment style to learn to be a more securely attached person. The goal is to move from unconscious reactive patterns to a earned secure attachment style. Attachment, from an evolutionary standpoint, has been biologically programmed into us as a survival mechanism. It ensures that vulnerable infants and small children remain close to their caregivers for protection, feeding, and emotional regulation. In an ideal situation, the parents or caregivers play the roles of both the safe haven and the secure base. That is, the caregiver is both a place to run to when a child is scared, which is their safe haven, and a foundation from which to explore from, which is their secure base. Here's the way these work and the way they look. The safe haven is a person you turn to when you are frightened, stressed, hurt, or in danger. When the world feels overwhelming, This person provides a safe harbor to help you regulate your emotions and feel secure again. This looks like a child running to their parents after falling down. And in return, the caregiver offers comfort, reassurance, and protection. A secure base is the foundation from which you feel confident to go out and explore the world, learn, and take risks. Because you trust that your safe haven is always there to return to if needed, you feel safe enough to leave them and explore. This looks like a toddler playing with toys in a room while constantly looking back to see if their parents is still watching. And the caregiver encourages independence, growth, and curiosity. With these, the caregivers are providing the children with the 4 S's of security: safety, seen, soothed, and secure. These 4 S's of security represent the essential needs that, when met by a caregiver, create a trusting, resilient, and confident individual. If you grew up rarely feeling safe, seen, soothed, or secure, of course, your nervous system had to adapt. That's where attachment styles come in. Here is what each of the 4 S's provide when given to a child. Safe or protected. You feel physically, emotionally, and relationally safe with that person. They do not cause harm, and they offer protection when you are in danger or frightened. Seen or known, the person pays attention to your inner world, not just your outward behavior. They understand your emotions, intentions, and needs, making you feel understood and validated. Soothed or comforted. When you are distressed, the person helps calm you down. They offer comfort, validation, and emotional regulation, teaching you that you can handle difficult emotions. And secured or trusted. As a result of the first 3 S's being met consistently, you feel safe and confident knowing you can trust the relationship. You feel comfortable exploring the world because you have a steady base to return to. When these 4 S's are provided, they help build a secure base, allowing individuals to form healthy, lasting bonds. The good news is, even if you weren't provided those as children, we can create these for ourselves as adults. Through changes in our environment and the people we associate with, we can slowly begin to shift our attachment styles. So now that we know why attachments are so important and what creates healthy, secure attachments, let's talk about the insecure attachment styles a little bit and see if we can figure out which attachment style you are. Now, real quick, if this is bringing up a lot in your body right now, you can take a breath, look around the room, and remind yourself, I'm here and I am safe enough in this moment. Now, as a baseline, securely attached individuals feel comfortable with both closeness and independence. They can communicate their needs clearly and handle conflict without feeling that the entire relationship is at risk. Their thoughts in relationships tend to be, I am safe, I am worthy of love, and I can depend on others. Secure does not mean perfect. It just means that there's enough stability to repair and reconnect after conflict. Secure attachment acts as a protective layer, helping individuals regulate emotions and bounce back from future stressors more effectively. Secure people feel comfortable with intimacy and are usually warm and loving. Individuals with an anxious, preoccupied attachment style tend to have a deep fear of abandonment, often leading to a constant need for reassurance. In relationships, this may manifest as clingy or being highly sensitive to a partner's moods. They tend to have thoughts about relationships, such as, I have to stay hyper vigilant and keep people close, or they might leave me. The nervous system stays on or hyper aroused, constantly scanning for signs of rejection as a way to prevent the pain of being blindsided by abandonment. Anxious people can crave intimacy, but are often preoccupied with their relationships and worry about their partner's ability to love them back. Individuals with a dismissive, avoidant attachment style tend to prize independence and may seem distant or cold. They often withdraw when a relationship gets too deep or when they feel pressured to be vulnerable. When thinking about relationships, they tend to think thoughts like, relying on others is unsafe. I must take care of myself and keep my emotions hidden to survive. This is a shutdown response. By minimizing their own needs, they protect themselves from the recurring pain of rejection or neglect. Avoidant people often experience intimacy as a threat to their independence and may try to minimize closeness. And individuals with disorganized, also called fearful avoidant attachment styles, tend to have a push-pull dynamic where the person oscillates between seeking intense closeness and suddenly withdrawing or lashing out. Their thoughts regarding relationships tend to be, I desperately want to be close to you, but being close to you is terrifying. The brain experiences a biological paradox. The instinct to flee from fear and the instinct to run toward a caregiver for safety are activated at the same time, leading to internal fragmentation and confusion. If this is you, it doesn't mean that you're too much or broken. It means that your nervous system got mixed messages about love and safety. Disorganized people tend to be confused about what they really want in a relationship, craving closeness while also being scared of it. So, after hearing all of that, can you pinpoint what kind of attachment style you have? For me, it's definitely anxious, preoccupied attachment. No matter which one you are, remember, attachment styles are not personality traits or diagnosis. They are adaptive survival strategies your nervous system developed to keep you safe based on your earlier relationships. Trauma can amplify the already dysfunctional attachment styles that our upbringing created in us. And here's how. Trauma, such as neglect, can cause the anxious type to become even more dependent and hypervigilant, often leading to chronic stress, somatic complaints, such as tension or unexplainable pain, and panic if a partner pulls away. Trauma, such as neglect or abuse, teaches that relying on others is dangerous. This amplifies the need for self-reliance, emotional numbness, and deep, often subconscious fear of intimacy, amplifying the avoidant type's tendency to withdraw. This can trick the nervous system into staying in a chronic state of fight for the anxious or freeze and shut down for the avoidant. If this feels like too much or overwhelming, it's okay to stop, move your body, or come back to this episode another time. Your system gets to set the pace. The good news is, no matter your starting point, attachment styles are flexible. Through consistent experiences of safety, often called earned secure attachment, the nervous system can learn new ways to connect. The goal is to move from reactive survival to conscious connection. We do this through safe and healthy connections with friends and romantic partners. And we also do this through somatic and CBT techniques. Now, you don't have to do all of these practices at once. Even choosing one somatic and one CBT practice and repeating them over time can begin to shift your attachment patterns. Changing your attachment style is a process of reparenting your nervous system by combining bottom-up or body-based and top-down or mind-based approaches. You bridge the gap between knowing you are safe and actually feeling it. These practices are educational and not a substitute for therapy. If you have a trauma history, it can be really supportive to work through them with a licensed therapist or a trained coach, such as myself. Let's start with somatic techniques. These techniques address the survival brain, which reacts before your logical mind can intervene. Orienting and grounding. How to do it. When you feel the anxious buzz or the panic rising, stop moving. Slowly scan your environment. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This is called the 5-4-3-2-1 method. Press your heels firmly into the floor while you're doing this. How this helps. The anxious attachment style is often stuck in a future threat loop, worrying about being abandoned. Orienting forces your brain to register the physical reality of the present room, signaling to the amygdala that there is no immediate predator, which lowers your heart rate. Tracking sensations. How to do it? Close your eyes and ask, where is this feeling? Anxious types might feel a hollow or fluttering in the chest. Avoidant types often feel a tightening or numbness in the throat or stomach. Simply observe it without trying to change it. How this helps. It transforms an overwhelming emotion into a manageable physical sensation. By watching the sensation, you develop a witnessing self, which creates a small buffer between the trigger and your reaction. Pendulation. How to do it. Focus on a hot spot of tension. Example, a tight chest. After a few seconds, shift your focus to a cool spot, somewhere that feels neutral or relaxed, like your big toe or your earlobe. Move your attention back and forth between these 2 spots. How this helps. It teaches your nervous system resilience. Instead of being flooded by distress, you learn that you can visit the pain and then return to safety. This builds the capacity to stay present during relationship conflicts rather than dissociating or spiraling. If at any point your body feels like it's too much, you can come out of the practice and simply ground by feeling your feet on the floor. Titration, which is working in small, manageable doses, helps your nervous system stay within its window of tolerance. Boundaries through movement. How to do it. Stand up and physically put your hands out in a stop gesture. Gently but firmly push against a wall or imagine pushing away a source of pressure. Say the word no or space out loud while you're doing it. How this helps. Avoidants often feel engulfed because historically their boundaries were ignored. This physicalizes the act of protection. It teaches the body that it has the agency to create space, making closeness feel less like a trap and more like a choice. Now let's go over CBT techniques. These techniques use the prefrontal cortex to reorganize your belief system and narrative. Cognitive restructuring. How to do it. Identify a core wound thought. Example, if they don't text me back, I'm unlovable. Challenge it with a factual counter statement. Their response time is not a metric of my worth. I have survived silence before, and I am safe right now. How it helps. It breaks a catastrophic thinking common in anxious attachment. By repeatedly replacing survival level fears with adult level facts, you weaken the neural pathways that equate relationship shifts with total ego destruction. Direct communication practice. How to do it. use the XYZ formula. That is, I feel, name the emotion, when the action happens, and I need your specific request. Practice this in low stakes situations first, like with a friend, before trying it with a romantic partner. This would sound like, I feel scared when you don't text me back, and I need reassurance that it is not about me. How it helps. It replaces protest behaviors like slamming doors, testing a partner, or ghosting. For the anxious, it proves it needs to be met through words rather than manipulation. And for the avoidant, it proves that expressing a need doesn't lead to conflict, but to actual relief. Now, in summary, attachment styles are changeable. The brain has plasticity, meaning we can create a new neural pathway through new, safe, and consistent experiences. Over weeks and months of repeating these practices in safe relationships, your body and your brain can actually start to expect safety instead of threat. It is possible to become secure by learning to soothe your own nervous system and choosing secure partners. And remember, healing happens in the body as much as in the mind. Thank you so much for joining me today on Beyond Survival, A Pathway to Peace. I'm so grateful to walk alongside you on this journey. Remember, healing isn't about perfection. It's about returning to yourself one small step at a time. Every time you show up for yourself like this, you're building something beautiful, a life beyond trauma. Healing is a journey, and every step, no matter how small, is meaningful. Be gentle with yourself along the way, and remember, you don't have to do it alone. If you're finding things especially hard right now, please don't hesitate to reach out for professional support. You don't have to do this alone. Help is out there, and healing is possible. If this episode resonated with you, feel free to share it with someone on their own path. Also, if you found value in today's episode, I invite you to connect with me on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at Beyond Survival Pathway. There, you'll find more insights, encouragement, and community support. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you'll be with us for the next part of the journey. And consider joining our Facebook book club, Beyond Survival, Healing Through Stories. It's a welcoming place to explore transformation through shared stories and connect with others on the path to healing. Until next time, keep putting one foot in front of the other. You're not walking alone, and the path to peace is unfolding with every step. Let's keep walking this journey together. Take care, and I'll meet you back here soon.